Gosh, it feels still like it's a brand new year, but we're already into the second month of February, and it became necessary to say we haven't updated our community on a Vancouver Island Manufacturing Excellence Alliance for some time now. And
Hmm.
it was necessary to get going. And
Yeah.
in discussions amongst all of our communities, of which the three of us represent probably a dozen of them, it became evident that people are very, very keen, people, business owners are very keen on increasing efficiency, on increasing productivity, on reacting to a new world order that at a global level is a rupture. That's how our prime minister is referring to it. And so once you take all of that wish and desire to make their companies better and more effective, it does come down to a little bit of, okay, well, what does that mean? What
Hmm.
does it actually mean if you're going to do that? And
Yeah.
what are the barriers to that? And I thought we'd talk about that today. So if someone says, yes, I want to diversify my trade business. Yes, I want to be more efficient. Yes, I want to. What now?
Hmm.
Well, you hire you generally speaking, you hire somebody to help you with that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be that business person today. Ray will be also that business person. We're going to put you, Anders, under the microscope, and we're going to some degree allow people to see what would that mean. Okay, what actually does that mean? And maybe there's stages. Maybe there's an intro stage. Maybe there's sort of then a second middle stage, and then maybe there's the full menu. Okay, let's talk about that. Let's enable people to get educated about what all this means to them. Is that fair enough, guys?
Sure. Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, let's do that. I'm bought in. I've got to change my company. I've got to be more efficient. I've got to be more productive. To some degree, I probably have to trade elsewhere than the US.
Right.
Okay. I have to do a lot of things. Now what? Anders, now what? What is the first stage? I pick up the phone and call you, and you tell me to do what?
Well, we put a kind of a phrase together when we started this to tell what that process is. And I'm quite clear that I've taken it from a different consortium that's been very successful, and I've changed it a little bit. But it's always learn, think, act,
Huh?
and
Cool.
reflect and share. So learn, and we've said, well, to get started, we have one little book you need to read. It's an evening.
Yeah.
Then the thinking starts. How do I make this work in my company?
Yes.
And I think that's when we this is called barriers to getting going, and that's when
Yes.
it's like, oh gee, I don't have time, or this isn't the right time. Those are probably the two main things I've heard in talking to people who want to be part of VIMEA, actively using our help, but it's, gee, I don't have time.
Mm.
uh, my
Okay,
answer.
let's stop there, please. That's
Mhm.
great because that actually happens in businesses 1,800 times a day
Correct.
about everything. So I'm going to go to Ray
Hmm.
because Ray has probably faced this barrier again 1,800 times a day.
Yeah.
So how do you move through that, Ray? How would you suggest somebody move through that?
Well, it's perseverance. You initially see what what benefits are will be incumbent from doing this kind of thing. And the typical thing that we've done at Rain House is we start and we make some progress and then we kind of pull back a little bit because the 1,800 decisions a day have to happen and it's easy to get distracted.
Yes.
But I want to pivot the discussion a little bit to, Vimeo has been active for a few months.
Yes.
And what I want to ask Anders to talk about a bit is the successes we've had.
Mm,
The best way to inspire people
mm,
is to do what? Is to show that it works. So,
yes.
so Anders, can you please talk about, early wins and reactions from the companies that we're working with.
Hey Ray,
Good.
that's fabulous. Okay. Because
Yeah.
I think if somebody's sitting at the 1800 decision points a day and doesn't want and can't, not that they don't want to, that they can't move through that.
Yeah.
Great idea. Let's hear of companies who somehow or another did move through that. Great.
hmm
Thank you.
Well, in each case, we've recommended, start with a kind of a showcase or pick one product line and work on that and make sure you understand how it works. And we've certainly seen
Hold on. Okay, hold on.
pro-
What does that mean? A showcase, what? You like you pick, so you might be making a product and your suggestion if with the successful companies is that they what? What does a showcase mean?
it means pick an area where you make one product and transform it to be more productive, to be better organized, to have more defined processes.
So it's a series of processes. Is that
Yes, right.
correct, gentlemen?
Mhm.
And
Yep,
and you look at that bundle of processes, and you might have 50 of them in your company, but you're picking one of them, and let's apply those efficiencies to that one. Is that correct?
that's right. That's
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Thank
So
you.
we've seen people. There was one particular product. It took a whole day to make it. Within I think 3 or 4 months, you could make three a day. So that's the definition of productivity. The same person, the same workbenches, better organization, a better set of steps to make that product through thinking about it and
Mhm.
looking at the wasteful thing going on. They've tripled their productivity
Okay.
in the
Okay.
showcase.
I'm going to be very aggressive today. I'm sorry, because I think this is really, really worth time talking through this. Ray, you've gone through this process.
Mhm.
Rainhouse has
Yeah.
been a successful adopter. So,
Mhm.
so did you take that same approach where you took a bit of operational
Yeah.
activities and you took some part of that?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I think we've done so this is like an onion for us because we've been doing it for a long time.
Yes.
And so we've tried all kinds of approaches. And some of them failed. I can give you an example. We used Kaizen foam to put tools all in a very organized way. But we're a different company, right? We're a services company, so things change. And so what we ended up doing, and I talk about the failures because they're important to know. Uh, how that leads to something else. So we did all this stuff to organize a workbench to do a particular set of work that we were doing at that time, and then it became totally useless when the job was over. And then we mistakenly tried to keep it that way for a while. And so we learned that because we're not making a product, we're an OEM for other companies. So we switch gears all the time. And I think Viela is the same way. They do automation projects and they change. And I know Anders has helped them and helped us think about how do you make a generic system that works where you have things that can roll away and roll back in
Yes.
uh,
Yes.
and be reconfigured. And I think we saw the same thing at Bailey's, right, where they were moving to a new location, and basically they said we're going to kind of try and keep it the same, but there's some things that are geography. It's a different size room, a different shape, and so we're going to reconfigure. So they've been doing this for 30 years. I would say they're the most qualified lean manufacturer we have, and they are constantly evolving and they're learning how to do that in a very flexible way.
Okay, so this is what I'm hearing. So I'm a business owner and I'm going, okay, if I'm under this umbrella of Vancouver VIMEA, first of all, I'm being encouraged to focus on a singular part of my operational implementation. Okay, so if I have 8 hours of stuff going on a day, I'm going to focus on this one that maybe takes an hour. Okay, because
Yeah.
that's manageable for me. I'm busy. I got all these decisions. I can do that. And guess what? I'm going to phone Anders. Potentially, I'm going to phone Ray. Ray might have a suggestion of somebody over there. Anders might have. This is all under the VIMEA network. Okay.
Yeah.
So at some point, I'm going to get some actionable things that I can do to help that small part. And
Hmm.
I'm going to implement it. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to go back to the group, this wide network of people that we have, and they're going to say, well, guess what? You could have done this, you could have done that, you could have done that. Am I hearing
Yeah.
that correctly, Ray?
Kind of. So it could go the other way too, and just say, "Oh, that's an unsolvable problem. I'm going to move on because it's as good as it can be. We thought we could make it better, and that's happened for us too. We
Oh,
think we can improve it, and it's like, it's really scale. So if you're making a product on a continuous basis, it makes a lot of sense to spend a lot of time to refine it and make it better. But say you're doing a one-off and you're making 10 parts for somebody, you spend all day trying to optimize it, you just wasted your time.
mm,
So
mm.
I'm trying to make it so that this is a one size fits all solution for whatever you're doing in manufacturing. It really doesn't matter, but it has to be tuned or adjusted to fit what you're doing. And priority setting is of course, always important, but especially if you're just getting into this, you want to get some early wins. And so fail fast. If that's not going to work, move on to the next thing. And as you go along, you're going to learn more and understand that this does take effort, and we're really trying to incentivize people to pick on the easy things because that's easier to get buy-in, but
Yeah,
it's easy to lose too, right? You can say, "Oh shit, that doesn't work, so I'm not going to do it anymore." So you can't do that. You might fail 3 times before you get a win, but I'm guaranteeing that it's going to happen. You just have to have um, good resources and commitment, especially from the top of the company driving this.
okay, okay, this is great. Let's stop there because we want people to know how to work through indecision.
Yeah,
There's a vibrant community on LinkedIn, and if you have questions, put your questions there. They
yeah,
will be solved. People will talk to each other.
Yeah.
People will reference each other.
yeah.
People will indicate what's going on, and then will help you through the indecision, the fear. Okay, let's stop there and let's see if there be some dialogue. How does that sound?
Sounds good. I just want to add one thing.
Yeah,
There's what goes on in this group is very valuable from another point of view, and that's just collaborating with people and being
yeah,
able to understand what we all do so that we can do bigger things. So that's a side benefit that is actually pretty big
yeah,
when you come
yeah.
down to think about it. You just looked at what you've done with the Sydney Breakfast Club and how many, every time I go, I make a couple of different business contacts that I didn't before, or geez, I haven't talked to this guy for 6 months and here he is. And next thing you know, we're doing something.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that community building is also very valuable.
yeah, and I think it reflects the business incubator type of brand that we're trying to promote here.
Yeah.
Certainly, Sydney Breakfast Club, promotes networking. Vimea promotes process evaluation
Yeah.
and how to improve that in your business.
Sure. Yeah.
And right, so it's a process incubator, so to speak, and
It
needing
is. Yeah.
right and requiring the expertise of folks like the two of you. Okay, I'm excited because it's a brand new year, and we're gonna kick down some barriers here to improvement,
Yeah.
and we're gonna get aggressive about it. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna promote it. We're gonna be shouting to the skies that this is the way to get through the rupture that's going on all around us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Love it.
Yeah.